Hello, my stars. Today's video is going to be a little different from what I usually do, but before I begin, I would like to say a disclaimer that I ask of you to not harass anyone or anything mentioned in this video, and I also ask you to not try and harass YouTube's employees, as they are most likely just trying to do their jobs and most likely do not have control over these situations. I don't want any harm to stem from this video, as it is just an opinion, and it is wrong to try and cause any harm or problems, whether it be from online or in person. We should be spreading as much kindness as possible, especially right now with how the world is being right now. YouTube has been slowly making their platform unusable and have been making their platform's experience almost inefficient. It is really irritating for a platform that grew on people's creativity and mainly full of people expressing themselves through many art forms, turn to a service that is both actively threatening people's jobs and ruining our ecosystems. In this video, I would exclusively be talking about generative AI, as it is what the issue is with AI nowadays, because other forms of AI I do believe can be used for good and be used ethically, and other forms of AI can be great for humanity's growth. If you do not know the difference between other forms of AI and generative AI, I will give you a short definition of the differences. But before I do, I would also like to state that yes, I do know that the other different forms of AI can also be affecting the ecosystem, but the majority of the time, generative AI causes way more harm. In most cases, the other forms of AI are not as abused in a sense. Traditional AI can be sourced back to the 1950s, as in 1952, scientist Arthur Samuel created the first computer program to learn to play checkers, and AI has slowly developed ever since. Well, what is AI in the first place? Artificial intelligence, or AI, refers to the computer's ability to learn and make decisions independently without intervention from human experts. The field of artificial intelligence is a cross-discipline that includes elements of computer science, biology, mathematics and statistics, neuroscience, and also philosophy. AI research is also applied to study and solve real-world challenges, using methods better suited to computers than humans. Now, how does this AI typically work? Much of the AI that people interact with every day is the result of machine learning, which uses algorithms trained on data sets to power a computer's ability to understand information and learn from it, and then make the decisions. Before machine learning algorithms can become functioning machine learning models, humans must first direct them toward making the correct decisions when encountering input data by verifying and validating their initial answers. As much as this form of AI can help society a lot and can be used to help make a lot of video games more immersive, there can be some downsides to this technology that I'm not going to ignore, like high implementation costs, wear and degradation, lack of original thought, cannot consider emotional ramifications, and ethical considerations, which, if you go to the sources linked in this video, you can expand further on what you can find. Some of the leading concerns with ethical considerations with these forms of AI include data privacy, fair and partial use of results, transparency among companies using AI regarding the principles they operate under, and willingness to collaborate with others towards creating ethically minded AI regulations. Now, this is a lot of information, and I'm going to be saying a lot of information because I like to get my facts straight with this type of stuff. Sorry, I just hit the mic. But let's get on to generative AI. Let's get into how generative AI is different from the prior form of AI. Generative AI has actually been around for quite some time, unlike what people tend to think. The first chatbots emerged in the 1960s and has only gotten popular and way more advanced in the 2020s. Generative AI is capable of producing original content based on its inputs, and even though generative AI has been around for quite some time now, it has only really gotten as effective and as dangerous as it has now. Now, for consideration, yes, it was bad back then as well, but it wasn't as prominent and used as it is now, making it extremely bad. Today, generative AI can create realistic images, generate content such as graphics and text, answer questions, explain complex concepts, and convert language into code. What is generative AI for those who don't know? Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that uses large language models or machine learning models trained on massive data sets to generate new content based on user inputs. Some people consider the next generation of AI because instead of relying on existing sources, it can produce new data images, and other forms of content, rather than just perform the same task repeatedly, which in my opinion can be used ethically and for good in some cases. But the issue is that this technology is so new and doesn't have any reliable safeguards and proper regulations that most of this has just gotten out of control because of that. Yes, this new and improved form of AI can help people get new ideas and expand their way of thinking. It also has become the way many people have chosen as a way to think for them instead of just using their brains. And people tend to not use it as a supportive tool like it's supposed to be. It also doesn't help that the need for generative AI has grown so much that the use of water and database buildings are taking up livable spaces, or spaces that could have been left alone to keep the natural ecosystem to coexist with human society. And also to note, apparently some AI companies have decided to try and desecrate people's graves and burial areas just to make these database buildings, which is actually insane. There has been a lot of debates regarding whether there are other things essentially killing the ecosystem as well, and sometimes causing much more damage than generative AI has. But the main problem isn't the fact that many other things are causing these issues as well, because as true as it is, the main problem is that we're adding on to that damage by using AI. And with using so much AI, it's causing so many issues to our ecosystem it doesn't have a very clear stop to it, especially because of its massive expanding nature. Yes, we should be paying attention and giving the companies causing more damage to our natural ecosystems, but that shouldn't be something that we prioritize over the issues generative AI has been causing. We should be trying to help reduce or end everything that has been causing these issues to our planet, including generative AI. We should give it the same amount of attention as the other issues, not putting it aside because it is quote unquote not that bad. I would also like to share some benefits to generative AI because it should also be discussed. Generative AI can help people give new ideas, save time, boost productivity, and in some cases improve learning, though I kind of disagree on that part because I believe they should focus on improving its learning ability before even being allowed to be used, as it can constantly be wrong or give dangerous information to others, as it's been showing. I do believe that there can be some good that can come from generative AI, but with the way it's being used and not properly regulated, that's where it can start to become an issue, as people constantly abuse its AI generative abilities constantly, and using it as a way to automate everything instead of just using it as a digital crutch or a supportive tool to help with some small tasks for them. A few examples are the fact that people will use generative AI to make art, write stories for them, and make music for them, all entirely with AI, causing AI slop to be born and overpower the internet. If some of you guys haven't noticed, there is more generative AI accounts and bots on social media than there are humans, which is kind of weird and crazy to me because wasn't the internet made for humans in the first place? A lot of people have also not realized how dangerous these generated videos and photos posted all over the internet really is. It is the main issue that comes with generative AI because of its relatively predatory behavior and people shaping it into what it has become. And it's also how scary and dystopian this really is. A huge issue with a lot of generative content being made and used today is the fact that it is both harming people and actively making it harder to get a job and live in our society. People abusing generative AI have made it almost impossible to tell the difference between reality and what is AI. It's become such a problem that you have to have a certain trained eye just to be able to tell the difference with some of these things being produced, which can easily become a huge issue, as it can easily be used to spread false information, frame others for things they have never done, and used to scam and harm people. It's become such a big issue. There has now been an internet theory that generative AI has only been advanced this much and has had many investments put into it so that the big government can easily make up lies of what they have been done and been doing to easily manipulate and control normal citizens. They could also use it to easily hide their terrible actions and pretend to be on our side, when in reality they're doing so many different things that in turn only benefit themselves or the big hierarchies that are rich in the world, which is honestly hard not to believe believe, especially with all the things coming to light online about the government right now. But let it be known, our government has always been corrupt, and people have always known. It's just people are being more prominent on actually speaking out as much as they have now. The generated AI has also made it easier for people to use other people's faces, voices, and creativity without much consequences for free and for their own usage. There has been people taking faces of babies to essentially make child, which is undeniably such a sick and morbid use of AI. And so many people seem to not want to do anything about it. Generative AI is also essentially making people more dumb than they have been, as people continue to use AI as essentially to think for them and not actually learn like they should. Now, this is something that is a bit hard to prevent, as this is something that society needs to look at themselves in order to fully fix, which, truth behold, this society kind of sucks, and people don't know how to hold themselves accountable for things. Because, well, yes, we can put more restrictions on AI and try to prevent people from trusting the AI's answers and giving suggestions at face value, and to help people make sure that they're actively still learning while using AI as a tool like it should be. It would still cause more issues and not fix the whole problem. A lot of parents try to help their kids and teens not hate learning and actively see it as something good instead of something that is essentially a chore. There also has to be a change in the American school system, as they are slowly starting to decay on themselves, and I can speak on that as I am a victim of it and was greatly affected by it. But I am lucky I am someone who actually enjoys to learn and continue to want the need for a challenge. This mindset has also led me to enjoy doing my own research and make sure I know my facts before I form my own opinion on a lot of things. With all of this said, I do believe there can be some good to come with this form of AI, but I do not like how it is currently being handled and seen as not that big of a deal when it's actively causing so much harm to so many people. I do acknowledge that with chatbots like ChatGPT, there have been some cases of people getting addicted to them and talking to these not real AI bots because of many underlying issues. And I feel for these people and how much AI has caused damage for them, that they think it's all they can talk to during hard times. And I hope anyone who struggles with these issues can get the help they need and hopefully get out of these addictions. And I hope they can eventually start to live better lives. Before I end this section of the video and get to the main point of the video, I would also like to slightly touch on the issues of people tending to still support generative AI because of its memes and funny videos. I have seen a lot of people excuse generative AI just because they find a meme or a funny video and thought it was funny, which in my opinion, no AI meme or funny video has ever actually been funny to me. They've either been disturbing, straight so unfunny it made me mad, or just downright disrespectful and harmful. And it kind of irks me that people will still support this type of AI for being funny while it is actually ruining so many people's lives, whether it be human or animal or plant, especially since a lot of the AI memes tend to be used to harm others and discriminate others in such a harmful way that it isn't even a joke. And these people only call it a joke just to cover up being a terrible person. Now, with all of this said, let's get to the part of the video that I wanted to talk about the most. YouTube! YouTube has been around since the year 2005, and in its early ages of life, it was made pretty easy to gain attraction, even if the video wasn't really good. This platform mainly became a way for people to express themselves, mainly through the art form. This made the platform a bit unique and gain attraction almost easily fast, and helped people gain fame fast with what they enjoyed doing. At its early stages of life, it was merely just a hobby or something to do for fun. In May of 2007, YouTube had introduced monetization through its partner program. This had started to allow people to earn money for their videos and even later on use YouTube as people's full-time job, and had actively given a new way for people who make art get a new form of job, especially since during many forms of art as a job is heavily criticized even to this day. YouTube's platform had opened up a new and great way for people to have fun, be creative, and if the person wants to, have a job doing what they love, especially since for years the demand for art jobs were not really that big of a problem, and for many years people seem to think that being an artist isn't a profession, or what it means to the people who do art aren't able to do smart things, which is not true and never will be. Just because someone does art doesn't mean they can't do anything else, or that they are for some reason stupid. Artists being seen as stupid hasn't really been believed for a while now, and not something people think nowadays, but it could still be happening, and it just hasn't been been brought to light, or something that hasn't been done enough for it to be given attraction. People who have done art as a profession has been discriminated for years, and still happens to this day, which is extremely harmful as it kills people's dreams and causes a lot of mental fights within the people's minds who are affected by this discrimination. And it's crazy to me that people feel this way towards artists, even though art was most likely one of the first ways that humans were able to communicate with each other. And art has been so meaningful and important to humans' cultures for years. People also fail to realize that many things we do today is an art form. I mean, human language is technically art. The way we spell and write words in order to form sentences and be able to talk to others is technically you drawing. Yes, it's not a crazy art masterpiece, but it's by definition still drawing. Having to draw lines to make a word and form sentences is still art, and it's how we write in every language on the planet. Plus, typing words down with your phone or PC still can be artistic because we have many different fonts for our letters and words, which can be appealing to others. It's also important to have certain fonts, in fact, that is important to appeal to consumers in order to sell and get more sales. Brands have to advertise with certain fonts and written words in order for it to appeal to consumers, just to be able to stay in business. And obviously, writing is an art form that isn't really up for debate, but art is so important that it isn't everything. In order to code some things, it has to have an interface that is made artistically by an artist to make that interface. Infrastructure is art. It is people making buildings that needs a blueprint to be able to be done, which in theory, a blueprint is technically just a sketch of the house that's to be made. All I'm trying to get at right now is that regardless of what people may say or think, art is just as important as any other job out there. And YouTube has made it more accessible for people to do said art. And YouTube knows this. They have for years advocated for artistic people because they know that is what would be keeping their business alive and to keep them alive, which is why the fact that YouTube has turned to use AI for the problem, AI on their platform, is such a bad idea. Now, a lot of the AI used is very upfront and easy to see, with the insane amounts of AI channels and AI slop all over the YouTube platform. It is almost impossible to avoid it. I'm someone who tries my best to not engage in any AI content because I have never once found it entertaining. And to be honest, sometimes the AI content just made me feel so disgusted and angry. I never once liked seeing any form of AI generated content, but there are times where AI content still shows up on my feed, whether it be through shorts or my homepage. Every time this happens though, I tend to scroll past it as soon as it pops up, but if it shows up on my homepage, I block the channel and videos from my account, and also tell YouTube, hey, I don't really like this on my For You page. Obviously, it would be quite impossible to be able to get rid of every single AI video out there, and for YouTube to get rid of every AI channel off of YouTube's platform, but they clearly haven't even tried to do anything about it, and in turn decide to use AI to monitor videos that is put onto their platform, which the AI is clearly not doing a very good job at this. This is also pretty harmful as kids usually watch these videos and channels, causing harm to the kids watching and people usually affected by the AI, because kids usually don't understand the big issues with AI and assume it's okay to use. And the biggest issue with kids watching these AI videos and channels is that it's usually essentially a fetish for content targeted to kids. And I know YouTube mainly did this so they wouldn't have to pay and hire new people, and I wouldn't be surprised if they fired a bunch of people to just use AI instead. Which, let me say this before I forget, AI isn't only threatening to artists, it is threatening to take almost everybody's job. Now, YouTube is quite upfront about the AI they use for monitoring videos and channels made on the platform and how they use it on their platform. But some of the ways they use AI on their platform they don't tell people about and are even trying to hide it. YouTube has been using AI to enhance people's videos and even take people's videos and creations to train their AI without people's consent. Yes, you have heard that right. Now, our YouTube channel has already talked about this situation with his video named YouTube is using AI on your shorts without consent. His channel is SamDoesArt. He's quite popular and I tend to watch and enjoy his videos. I have even learned some tips and tricks from his channel, which has helped improve my own art. His video on the shorts AI topic will be linked down below for you to watch if you would like to hear what he says about it. YouTube has been using AI to enhance videos, whether it to be enhance the video quality itself or the audio in the video. And I have noticed this that it has happened on my own channel, my main channel that I use mainly for art and animation. I had noticed that the video I posted on YouTube compared to TikTok looked different from each other. And yes, I know TikTok uses AI too, but it's not what I'm getting into for this video. Otherwise, this video would probably be days long. The difference is that TikTok doesn't use AI to enhance people's videos videos. They still train their own AI with people's work though, which almost every social media app does at this point, which is quite infuriating. The video I had posted on YouTube had the colors changed, and even the way the lines and strokes of my animation looked completely different. The colors look less vibrant and more muddy on the YouTube post, and when you look closely, the lines I purposely added onto the cuffs of the jacket look smudged and unintentional, which is harmful to how people view me as an artist, because it makes it look like I don't know how to choose my colors carefully, and that I will blindly and badly add strokes to my art. This is also harmful to me because someone could mistake my hard work for AI and start to dislike my channel and misinform others on it, which could make me lose attraction and followers. Which this is also the case for other artists on YouTube being mistaken for using AI and harming their reputation, as a lot of younger people tend to avoid anything with AI in it because they tend to hate AI and people who use it, which I kind of am the same way in this sense, because it mainly just shows how lazy and how unethical the person or company using AI is. It shows they don't care how this affects our environment and others, and sometimes shows how the person could only care about themselves in certain situations. YouTube training their AI with people's content and voices without their permission is obviously a bad idea, because it takes people's hard work and basically steals it from for their own personal gain. This can also be extremely harmful, as it can let people use a person's likeness to make AI and pretend to be someone they aren't. But luckily, YouTube does have restrictions on this and does take down people who they think is impersonating others. But again, they usually use AI for things like this, so the AI could see someone on another channel and assume it's an impersonator, but usually it is someone who has two channels. I have seen people get affected by this. I think I wasn't tagged from this because I usually don't show my face on my animation channel, especially not as much as I do or plan to do on this channel. With the AI monitoring channels, it can cause false accusations to fall onto people because the AI isn't really good at what it does. And again, I have had issues with this before. YouTube's AI had recently flagged my animation channel, saying that my content wasn't originally mine, hinting that I either stole other people's content or used AI to make my content. And I'm pretty sure it is very obvious that I make my own content, and I also never stole anyone's creation and claimed it to be mine. I've even had someone steal my videos and try to claim it to be theirs, but their channel has already been taken down because people have reported the channel, including me. I had to make a video appeal to give to YouTube where they let an actual person review my own channel, which luckily got approved and they unflagged my channel, but it shouldn't be even happening in the first place. It would have been bad if I had it, because I wouldn't be able to make any more money from my hard work, which I have used the money to go towards school when I was in high school, and now I'm using that money for college, as I'm going to start in September. But I don't even really make that much from that channel anyways, so I still have to kind of get a job to live comfortably, that is. Now I'm sure that people are going to look at my animation channel and see that yes, I use gotcha in my videos. I started this channel when I was around 11 years old, and I haven't stopped making content for that channel. My older videos aren't as good as or much hard work from the past, and I know that. And I know that I don't post often. That's because I tend to have my own life outside of my channels, and I'm usually busy with school and possibly, hopefully, working a part-time job. But this hasn't only happened to me. People have had issues with YouTube's AI monitoring for as long as they started implementing it. They had started doing this since 2023, but they used to only use the traditional AI for their feed on the platform in the early 2010s, which is technically fine, but I feel like they would have been better off only using that type of AI. There has also been issues with YouTube's feed from when they started using generative AI to make people's feeds. I have noticed that it struggles to make the feed cater to the consumer's interests. It also fails to make connections to these videos or channels to make something that is coherent. I have found myself scrolling longer than I remember before in my homepage just to find something to watch, and it's honestly kind of annoying because I sometimes eat while I watch YouTube, and now I'm scrolling for so long that my food gets cold. It gets to a point where sometimes I just search up YouTubers and I rewatch their old same videos I have watched for years, and sometimes I'll give the random videos a chance that the AI has given to me, only to be disappointed and get bored from the first 5 minutes. I have also heard from many other people saying that their feed sucks and they hate how the homepage is set for them. Now, this is all that I really have the time for this video right now, but before I wrap it up, I would like to say that there are ways to limit the amount of AI use you use. You may accidentally use it here and there, but that's okay because it is almost impossible to stop using all generative AI since it's in everything now. It's in our phones, almost every game and app, and it can even be in basic object. I mean, I've seen one used for a toaster, but it's good to limit it to your best abilities because even small actions can cause big differences. It's good to start by replacing your search engines to ones that don't implement generative AI. You can even go into some apps and turn it off in the settings because I know they allow you to do so in some apps like Pinterest, and you can even do it with YouTube. This setting turned off prevents YouTube from enhancing your videos with AI and even stops them from training their AI with your videos. It is quite annoying that you have to automatically turn it off in the first place, but it's better than not being able to turn it off at all. You can do this by going into the settings, go to the advanced settings, find the option third-party training, and turn it off. Make sure you click save to keep it off. Turn off the AI remixing. On YouTube Studio, you can go to the edit and find shorts remixing and click don't allow remixing at all. I do not know if there are other ways to turn off the other AI on YouTube's platform, but if you know how, please put down how to in the comments. And as always, I would love your opinion shared in the comments as well. Just make sure that you stay respectful and don't say anything hateful. If you would like for more information on how to cut generative AI from your life, I will link sites below in the description that give you more information on how to minimize the amount of AI that you use. Thank you for listening. Remember to live with love. Goodbye, and I will see you in the next one.